Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Pick and Roll Season 2. I believe this is episode 10, if I'm not mistaken. NFL playoffs are coming in hot, approaching next weekend. Um, so we are going to have an NFL playoff special next episode. In case you didn't know, next Friday, it will be our first episode back in the studio after the holiday break, where we will have a fully NFL show. Maybe we'll do some NBA power rankings, but it will be mainly NFL that day as we kick off the playoffs next weekend. But that's not till next week. So let's kick off today's show. We got the power rankings like normal. Um, you know what, EJ, you can go first this time. Hit me with your NBA power rankings.
All right, Sean. Since you want to play games, let's play games then, brother. All right, so look, my top five NBA power rankings for this week on pick and roll. My number five, I'm going with the Detroit Pistons, Sean. They are the top of the East. They are legit powerhouses, legit dogs. I see them making a decent, fair playoff run in the future. Maybe this year, maybe next year. I know last year they took the Knicks to six. That was a really good game, a really good series, excuse me. So number five is Pistons. On my number four. Now, Sean, this is going to be a bit surprising to you because of how good they're playing, but their conference is just so stacked. I'm going to go with the San Antonio Spurs, number four. Number four, and I know
Oh,
number four seems kind of low, but you got to look at it. This still is a young team. Playoff wise, they barely have an experience, with exceptions of Harrison Barnes and a few others, but they are still a young team. Wimby, Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, he's still a rookie. Keldon Johnson sniffed the playoffs maybe once or twice, maybe with his run with DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge. But like it's still a very young team. I compare them to, if you want to go like NFL wise, to like the New England Patriots. They are so good, but so young and have no playoff experience. That's why number four. My number three, I'm gonna go with the Denver Nuggets, Sean. I think your Nuggets are really good.
all right.
Um, I think I feel like I underestimated them. Even though Jokic is out, you have Murray, you have Christian Braun, you have Cameron Johnson, you have pieces that can give you 25 to 30 a night. Maybe not like Jokic giving you 30, 15, and 10, but they can really give you a good, efficient 20, 25 point game a night. I really see the Denver Nuggets making a really far playoff run when Jokic comes back. My number two is gonna go to LA Lakers, Sean. I'll
Damn.
give it to them. You know, this LeBron arc story with like he's not the main option anymore. That has to go because you have two amazing pieces in Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic that could be your two franchise players of this team after LeBron retires. Um, I think LeBron, I'm not saying he should take a bench role, but definitely try to explore that second, third option because I'm not saying he's a first op. I think he is. I think he can still be a first option. Excuse me, but I do think he needs to take a back seat to Luca and or Reeves because they are the now. And I just feel like with Braun in almost 25 years, you really got to really just look at it. Like he could still play. He could still get to 25 a game, but look at it from a legacy wise. Do you want to be the one that is just stat packing just to get your stats? Or do you want to help the next generation out win championships? So that's a question that we should be asking as well, for LeBron. So my Lakers are number two. My number one, Sean, I've said this the whole time being pick and roll this season. It's the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now I know, oh my God, they've lost the Spurs 3-0. Who's the defending champions? This is the same roster. Nothing's changed. And I know Indiana, if if Hallie didn't get injured, if this, if that. And yes, Sean, I agree with you. I think if Hallie was not injured, that Thunder team would not have won game seven. But guess what? They did. So we can't do anything about it. But we have to really look at it. You have probably the a top three player right now with Shea, and I don't think he's three. I think he's either one or two. It's
Mm-mm.
very interchangeable. I think it's between Jokic and Shea, but it's interchangeable some nights, some days, whatever.
Not even close.
Okay. Defensive wise, Shea like that whole Thunder team is just really good, like defensive wise. They have different roles, interior, perimeter, 94 feet, half court, does not matter. Offensively, I think Jokic, I mean, not Jokic, excuse me, Shea has that in the bag. But I really think that team ball, that team chemistry, the Thunder has all of that. I and I was thinking about this. This reminds me of like the 2000 Spurs. Like it's just team ball. Yes, Tim Duncan was the leading scorer, the leading rebounder, all that, all that. He was passing the ball to Ginobili and Tony Parker, and Richard Jefferson, and he was and Steven Jackson. There's like that team was all about passing the ball to fool the defense to find like an open man to shoot the ball. This reminds me of 2000 Spurs. I think that the Thunder are number one, Sean. That's my top five.
All right. Before I get into mine, my thoughts on yours. Um, I will say, I agree with your Spurs pick. But the one week, man, the one week you give my Nuggets respect, bro. I actually disagree. They're missing four starters. Like, and the power rankings are the most now list out there, bro. You know? And they're missing four starters. So as of right now, it's just Jamal Murray. The
Mm,
Nuggets are cooked as is right now. So
mm,
how can they be in your power rankings? And I will say I'm very upset. I'm very upset with the Lakers right now. They're no chance in hell are they making my power rankings. They're they're not even touching like top 10 maybe. Um,
jeez.
I'm very frustrated with that team right now. It's sad. Um, so let me get into my power rankings.
Okay.
Um, number five. Boom. I got the Knicks. They've been consistent all year. Roster's deep. They got the depth. They got a star player in Brunson. They got a helper and a second option in Cat. They're deep, man. Number four, we got the Spurs. I agree with you. Young, talented. I know they just lost to the Jazz, another bad team, but like they also beat the Thunder three straight, so I'm not worried. And then they look like the biggest threat to the Oklahoma City right now. Number three, Detroit Pistons. They've been the one seed all year. No one thought that could happen. Cade is a certified superstar, man.
Yeah.
He is that guy. Triple doubles all the time. He stuffs the stat sheet. He scores. He's clutch. He's a good defender for being a one option offensively. And then number two, the Houston Rockets. They are dangerous, man. They don't even have Fred VanVleet, and they're like a top five seed in the West, a competitive West. And they are arguably the second best, if not the best defensive, probably second best to OKC defensively. They're just so lengthy and huge. Their starting lineup is like a minimum of like 6'5" tall, you know?
Yeah.
And so
For sure.
they are dangerous. They're deep as well. And the number one, it's inevitable. There's nothing you can say. OKC, Thunder. I mean, what do you got to do, man? They're getting
Nothing.
better. They're coming for it. They got the number one defense by a great margin. They're just dominant. I know they just lost to the Spurs three times, but Spurs have had more struggles than they have in the last week. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
For sure.
Thunder. Yeah. So that's my power rankings: Knicks, Spurs, Pistons, Rockets, Thunder. Hit me with your thoughts.
See, I wasn't even thinking of Knicks. I honestly, Sean, I think your list is a 10 out of 10. I really like it. I think it's perfect. Um, what I will say with and to build off your Pistons point, because I feel like the Pistons are a team that's really not talked about now, you know,
Hmm.
because they've been such a distraught franchise in the 2010s. But Detroit has a special duo and of Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren, and it really reminds me of the 2000s Pistons, especially that '04 team that went to the finals that beat Shaq and Kobe. Um, it really like Jalen Duren reminds me of a taller Ben Wallace. Just he it's not. I think his shot blocking is not as good as Ben, but he will Jalen Duren is a very underrated center. I think he is like an undersized center. I think he's like 6'10", 6'9", 6'10", whatever. but he's good at his job. Like he knows how to
Great. He's
score.
been
He knows
great
how
for
to
them.
he knows how to get boards. He knows how to get blocks. Like he plays the pick and roll game so flawlessly. And Cade reminds me of a more skilled Chauncey Billups because Chauncey was very skilled in his prime. He knew how to get the ball off, but Cade just knows how to get to his spots on time. Like he knows how to shoot his shot. He knows when to shoot the ball, and he know and Cade like and also very Cade has very good time management with the clock. I watched most of these
True.
games. Really good time management. He knows when it's fourth quarter. There's less than 25 seconds left. I'm gonna get this shot off. Either 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 I'm gonna make it or miss it, either or. But he's gonna get that shot off. That's really good about good NBA players when they know time management. If you leave time on the clock, somebody else gonna make that shot. So I really like your list, Sean. But yeah.
Yeah, to your point, he's very smart and almost
Mhm.
like a Luka Doncic, a Luka Doncic brain sort of,
Yeah,
except
yeah,
that he
yeah.
actually plays defense. You know
Facts.
what I mean?
True, true.
So let's do some NFL power rankings as we
All
approach
right.
the playoffs and the final week, week 18.
Cool.
Um, hit me with your list.
All right, Sean. My top five NFL power rankings. Number five, I'm gonna go with the Jacksonville Jaguars, Sean. They are legit. I think they're gonna win the AFC South. They've won seven straight. Um, but I will say, like an honorable mention, Sean. First time we've ever done this, but the Houston Texans. They were the
Mm.
bottom of the barrel franchise at the beginning of this season. They've turned it around. They've won eight straight. Even with CJ Stroud out, you had Davis Mills, and he performed very good, very like a backup should, even as a starter. Like he was very good. He won games for the Texans. So number five is going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne Jr., Brian Robinson. That team is really, really good. Uh, I think they can go. I think they can make a run in the AFC. I think they're one of the one. I think they're one of the more underrated teams in the NFL, not just the NFC. I mean AFC, excuse me. My number four, I'm gonna go with the Buffalo Bills, Sean. Um, Josh Allen, I think he is a top three MVP candidate for sure. Um, his team is a little bit underwhelming as far as wide receiver core, compared to even the Patriots with Stephon Diggs, with Tank Dell, and with the Jaguars, the Texans. Um, so yeah, but still, very, very good team. We have the MVP. You have James Cook, who is a top five running back in this league. So yeah, my number three, I'm gonna go with the New England Patriots, Sean. Like I said about um the Spurs, like as an NBA reference, the Patriots are a very, very elite team, but have no playoff experience at all. So like I said, it could be fool's gold. We don't know. But what I will say is the Patriots going to make a run for their money. And I'll bet my lesbian can count on it. But still, they have no playoff experience. Drake May is a top three quarterback in the league. I don't think he's three or two. I think he's the best quarterback in the league, if you want to be honest. Um, but yeah, so that's the AFC portion. Let's go to number three, two, and one. My number three, I'm going to put the San Francisco 49ers. They beat my Bears. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna put the Bears at number three. Chicago, yes, they lost to San Fran. One hell of a game, by the way. Um, it went down to the last play. It's okay. I like we lost to a very, very, very good team. Not mad at it. Disappointed, sure, but Caleb Williams proved why he is a top 10 quarterback in this league. I care what nobody else has to say. DeAndre Swift just broke 1,000 yards. The first time the Bears were running back has broke 1,000 yards since 2020, since David Montgomery. That's saying a lot. Rome Dunze, Luther Burden the third is a
Yes, sir.
star in this league. If you don't think so, you aren't watching football. When Rome was out, when DJ was out, you got Jonte Walker, uh, you got Zacchaeus, you got Duvernay, but it's like trusting a rookie is Like last week against the Packers was hard enough to make that catch and go to overtime. Trusting a rookie to lead your whole team in receiving yards is even harder. And he did that. And yes, we lost by 3 or 4. That's fine. But this shows the potential this guy can have. He can easily be a wide receiver 1 or 2 in this league. Easily. So that's the Bears number three. Number
Wait,
two, I'm
hold
gonna
on a
put
minute.
this.
Hold on a minute. I thought that you were at three. I thought the Patriots were three because you did Jaguars, Bills, Patriots.
Oh yeah, you're right. I did. Okay, so take off the Patriots on there. I'm putting the Bears at three. I don't care if nobody has to say. So Bears number three. My number two is the San Francisco 49ers, Sean. Brock Purdy is like that. Brock Purdy is like that. With Kittle out, with Fred Warner out, you go to you go to Old Faithful. You go to C-Mac. You go to CMC. You go to Christian McCaffrey. All purpose yards. It's out of this league. Him and Bijan are on a different level. Using Jawan Jennings, him him getting that basically that game winning touchdown to put the Niners over the Bears late in the fourth quarter. That was big, you know. That really set it over the cake. I think Brock Purdy is a great quarterback. Even when he was out and you had Mac Jones, like so it puts you at a standpoint of like, okay, if Purdy's out, we can just put Mac Jones in and he can win us the game. He went 5-1 this season, 6-1, whatever. Like the Niners are like that. Now, imagine you put Kittle and you put Fred Warner out there. That Niners team is doing things in this league, Sean. I don't think you understand. And my number one is the Seattle Seahawks. Sam Darnold is an elite quarterback. I don't care what anybody has to say. Sam Darnold is a top 5 quarterback in this league. JSN is a top 2 wide receiver in this league, and he damn sure ain't too. This Seahawks defense is top 5, and it's not 5, 4, 3, or 2. You hear me? Like this team is amazing. We haven't seen this Seahawks team since the early Russell Wilson days, LOB, the Legion of Boom, all that. We haven't seen this dominant Seahawks team since 2013, 2014. Sean, this Seahawks team is legit and they are like that. Sam Darnold's like that. He's proved it. I hope they extend him. Hope they give him the max because this guy is legit. This guy is proving everybody wrong.
100%. Our lists differ, but not too much.
Okay.
Um, I do agree with the Niners. They are hot and they are legit. They're dangerous. And I agree the Seahawks are on top right now. And the Bears, even though they lost, I'm not very discouraged by that. Um, but I will say I can't really get on with the Jaguars. I think they're a little bit lucky with their schedule, and I don't think that's necessarily skill. And then the Bills, there's been something smelly about them all year long, and I can't really pinpoint what it is, but I'm not fully on board. But I do think they should be favorites to win the AFC. My list, number five, I'm gonna go Broncos. I say that because not that I think they're gonna win anything really, but just because they've been the hottest team in football for a while, and they're
Spurs.
finding ways to win. And so they're power ranking eligible. And then number four, the Chicago Bears. I'm not very discouraged by the loss. We'll get into that game later, but I think the Bears are still legit, and I think they have a good shot at winning some playoff games. Number three, the Patriots. I don't think they're going to win anything, but they are again one of the hot teams in football, power ranking eligible. And then and Drake May has been balling, even without a strong O line. He's been running around getting chased, and he's finding ways to get out of that. Um,
Hmm.
Number two, the 49ers, they have hit their stride, man. Brock Purdy's back. Everybody's rolling. They beat the Bears without George Kittle, which I think is impressive. And then number one, the Seahawks, they're undeniably dominant right now. They're like the NFL's. I'm not going to say that. I was going to say they were like the NFL's Thunder, but I wouldn't say they're that apart from everyone else. Um, so yeah, they're probably undeniably the number one team in football as of right now. We'll see. But
Hmm.
yeah, that's my power rankings: Broncos, Bears, Patriots, Niners, Seahawks.
It's not that's not a bad list. I think it's a better list than most. But I do agree with your list, Sean. Good job. Great job.
All right, let's go. And with that, we'll move on to debates and takes. Got a lot of questions going.
Yep,
Um,
let's do it.
Number one being the Bears game. Last week, the Bears lost to the Niners. Um, Caleb Williams threw 330 yards, but could not pull it out in, was it overtime or fourth quarter? I think it was
It went to the fourth quarter.
fourth
Yes.
quarter, almost overtime. He couldn't pull it out. And the Niners won. So, are you concerned for the Bears after this loss?
Am I concerned for the Bears after this loss? Sean, I am not concerned for the Bears after this loss. And the reason is because Caleb Williams showed that he can compete against good teams. Yes, they lost by four, whatever. But first of all, this is the first game ever in the modern era where the scores were tied at 7-7, 14-14, 21-21, 28-28, and 35-35. First game in history. This was a shootout, Sean. This wasn't just a normal, okay, I'm gonna come back. No, this was both teams were shooting their shots and they were hitting the San Francisco 49ers. They just hit the buzzer beater. You know, this was a close
It was a
game.
bloodbath.
This was a close game through the first quarter to the fourth quarter, from timeout to timeout. This was a game where somebody's defense had to stand out. And the Niners, unfortunately, they did. Their defense on the last play was better than ours, and we lost. But don't take away from Chicago. Caleb Williams, 330 yards, 25 42, two touchdowns, 100 QB rating. Swift and Monangai combined for 90 yards. Swift had two touchdowns. Luther Burden, a monster game, 138 yards, one touchdown. Colston Loveland had a decent game, 94 yards, one touchdown. Jade Walker, 30 yards. Cole Kmet, 16 yards. DJ Moore had one reception. He was out sick, but I know he had an illness, but he still came to Chicago and played. Um, and our defense, the first play of the game, not like the first play of the drive, of the Niners drive, like the first play of the game, Black Purdy threw an interception to TJ Edwards. And we all thought, okay, yeah, we got this, we got this. Nah, Sean, we got nothing. We got nothing. But this was a good game nonetheless. Um, I think we need to do better on our defensive side. Again, we did have a few players out. So again, but Brock Purdy, I don't take anything from Brock Purdy anyway. He had a great game, 303 yards, 24 for 33, three touchdowns, had interception, QB rating of 118.6, CMC, 23 carries, 140 yards, a touchdown. Brock Purdy had two rushing touchdowns with his three passing touchdowns. Ricky Pearsall, 85 yards, Jake Tungus, 60 yards, Jawan Jennings with that game-winning touchdown, 42 yards. CMC, Kendrick Bourne, Kyle Juszczyk, Brian Robinson Jr. Their defense didn't really do anything for real. There was no sacks, no interceptions. Um, like I said, this was a shootout, Sean. Like San Francisco just had the slightly better defense. But this proves that Chicago is not the old Chicago Bears that we knew from last season or even from the first two games of this season. This is a better Chicago team with a better coach, with a better quarterback, with a better wide receiver core, better defense, better defensive coordinator. It doesn't matter. Special teams coordinator. We are a better team than most, if not most of these teams. In the not just in the NFC, in the NFL, Sean. We are a very good team. That's all I got to say about that. But so I'm not concerned if that's the question. No, not at all.
We're starting the show off pretty positively. I will say I agree again. We're on the same page today.
Ah,
You're right. It was a shootout. It was anybody's game. And that is exactly why I'm not concerned because that if anything, it just helps the Bears. because now
Yeah.
they've dealt with a close game scenario. They're looking back at the film and they're looking at what they did wrong. How can we do this better? How can we prevent this? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
they're looking at a tough team like the Niners and viewing this as more of a lesson because they're clinched the playoffs already, you know? This game didn't decide anything really. I mean, maybe they lost the one seed because of it, but I
Yeah,
mean,
I think they definitely lost the one seed, but they can still clinch the 2 or 3 seed for sure.
yeah. But for a team that wasn't expected to make the playoffs, a top three seed is a win in my book.
Oh yeah,
So,
absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
I don't think the one seed matters too much. I mean, yes, you want that easier matchup considering you're a young team. Um, but I don't like, is there a crazy difference between the one and two seed matchup wise?
I mean, if you want to talk about like because if we got the first seed and if we got the first seed like set in stone, the Super Bowl would have been at Soldier Field. So yeah, kind of. I mean, yeah, because I'm not gonna lie. The second through seventh seed, that's one, two. So I think yeah, the second seed. No, so the
But you're
first seed
still
gets a
getting what?
bye.
They're getting like the sixth seed, right?
But here's the thing, though, right? Yeah. So if you're a second seed, you get the seventh seed. But the seventh seed is probably going to be the Packers. Again, we don't know. Again, we beat the Packers, but that's just another. You feel me? We can always lose to any team in the NFL. A win is not a
Mhm.
win, like it's not a guaranteed win. You know what I'm
But I'm
saying?
pretty confident. I'm pretty confident y'all can beat the Packers. They're no
Oh,
Micah
for sure,
Parsons. Jordan Love's struggling. I mean, that's easy pickings to me.
for sure. I agree.
So I'm not panicking that they're not getting the one seed. You just don't want to fall down to four or five, you know?
Yeah, we're not. No, I think the max we could fall down is three because we already
And
clinched the division.
three would not be ideal, but it could
Three,
be they can win that game.
if we are three seed, I think we face the either
It
the
would be like the fifth
Rams.
seed, right? Something like that. Whoever
Yeah,
falls to fifth, we won't know until last minute. We won't know until after Sunday.
no,
Um,
the third seed faces the sixth seed. So that means either we face the maybe the Rams or the Eagles. One of those.
I think it might be between like three or four teams.
That's what I'm
'Cause,
saying. Yeah.
yeah, we don't know yet. But if I'm the Bears, I want to keep the two seed and I want to fall down to two at the minimum. So I don't necessarily know if I want to get to the three seed because there's a lot of good teams could coincidentally fall down to that fifth or fourth seed that would be playing them. You know,
Um.
it's so competitive in the NFC.
Yeah. I think the standings right now are set in stone except no, Niners, Seahawks, and then Carolina Bucks. Carolina Bucks to the winner of that game gets the fourth seed, the other one gets eliminated. Seahawks, Rams, the winner of that gets the first seed, the loser gets the fifth seed, I think. So
Mhm.
other than that, all the other teams are set in
But
stone.
isn't there like one or two games between the Niners, Seahawks, and like Rams
That's
or
that's what I just said.
yeah.
That's what I just said, gang.
My fault. I thought you were saying that they're set in stone.
No, son. The Seahawks and the Niners game, that game chooses the
Yeah,
first
yeah, yeah.
seed.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
got
The
you.
the Panthers Bucks game, the winner of that game is the fourth seed, and the loser is eliminated from playoffs.
Right,
But the other teams are set in stone with their playoff seed. But we do have to beat the Lions in order to maintain that second spot. We do. We have
right.
to do that.
I think the Bears will can win out. I think
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they can win Sunday. I don't remember who they're playing, but we'll look at it later when we do the NFL. But
They're
anyway,
playing Lions, Detroit, playing Detroit.
right. That's an easy win. By the way, 59% completion from Caleb Williams and zero interceptions with the inexperience that Bears team has, and they brought that Niners game to only like a one possession game. That's encouraging to me. I think they'll learn from
Hmm.
this. I'm not worried
For
about the
sure.
Bears.
Me
Um,
either.
we're gonna move to the next question, sticking with the NFL. What team has the most pressure this weekend in the final games? With seeding taken into consideration.
I'll definitely say. Mm, it's definitely a team in the AFC for sure. Um, is I would say it's definitely a team in the AFC. I would probably say the Baltimore Ravens. The reason I say that is because this team was supposed to make a deep playoff run. Nobody expected the Steelers to make a deep playoff run, even with DK, even with A-Rod, even with like all the signings they made. Nobody thought the Steelers would make a deep playoff run, and I don't think they will. But people thought that the Ravens were going to really make a deep playoff run. You know what I'm saying? I know like Lamar's been out. You put Snoop Huntley in. He can win you some games. He loses you some games. But that Ravens defense, it's like breaking down. It's injuries, of course, is a major part of that. It's also just like, are you willing to play for the Super Bowl? Are you willing to play to get to that? Like, are you willing to are you willing to play to get to that final game, that championship game, right? And like I said, I think the Ravens are 8-8. The Steelers are 9-8. Oh no, I think the Steelers are 8-7, something like that. But this is a must-win game for the Ravens because if they don't, then John Harbaugh's job is going in jeopardy, right? This has been same team, not the same team, but basically the same core for I would say 7 years since Lamar got his start. His first MVP in 2019. I think that you need to rethink not Lamar. I think Lamar is a generational talent. I mean, think of your pieces. Zay Flowers is a great wide receiver. Rashad Bateman's a great wide receiver. DeAndre Hopkins is a great wide receiver. D Hop hasn't been great since 2020. I'm sorry. He hasn't been great in 5, 6 years. Zay Flowers is a wide receiver. I think he's at best a wide receiver too, at best. And then Rashad Bateman, he's a wide receiver three. They don't have a receiver. Well, I think Mark Andrews or Isaiah Likely could be their main option, but other than that, they don't really have any main options. You know what I'm saying? So definitely the Ravens. I think I'll be looking at that game for sure, along with the Bears Lions game. But yeah.
You know, I thought about saying the Ravens to this question, but then I thought about how the ship has already sailed for them. You know, like about 5, 6 weeks ago, we knew the Ravens season was pretty toast. So
Hmm.
I don't think there's much pressure on them at all. I think it's just a bonus if they win and make the playoffs because they're getting first rounded, you know. Um, so that's why I think the most pressure this weekend is the Seattle Seahawks. You have a game against the 49ers for the one seed, and a loss against the 49ers gives the competition momentum. You're looking at the Niners feeling good. We just beat the Seahawks. We're ready to beat you in the playoffs now. And so if I'm the Seahawks, you need to win this game to prove you're legit, and you need to win this game to keep the momentum on your side because you don't want the opposition. You got to remember the Niners are not only in the same conference, but they're in the same division as you, and so they know you well, and they are going to be if I'm the Niners and I beat the Seahawks who've been dominant all year and think they're going to have a big playoff run. If I beat them on Sunday, I'm feeling really good about my chances in the playoffs. I think it's a bad momentum swing for the Seahawks if they lose. Um, because then if you meet the Niners, they're feeling good. They know they can beat you. So either you got to turn it up or you got to win Sunday. So I just think it only gets harder for them if they fall down because then they're missing the easy matchup. They fall down in the standings. And so I think there's a lot of pressure on the Seahawks considering the lack of belief in Sam Darnold and then just the fact that nobody expected the Seahawks to be this good, you know? So I think a win is very important this weekend for them and and the loss to the Niners would give up the division and the one seed. So not only did you lose the division, you lost the one seed. So there's a lot at stake for Seattle this weekend, in my opinion.
Fair enough. But even if the Niners or the Seahawks lose, let's say the Seahawks lose, they still make playoffs. It's not like they're just out the playoffs. the Steelers and the Ravens. If the Ravens don't win this game, they are out the playoffs, Sean. Like there is no, oh yeah, like get back. Oh no, no, no. If the Ravens lose, they give up the division and they give up the fourth seed in the AFC. Like that's how bad things are.
But what I'm saying is, how many playoff games are the Ravens winning?
None. Maybe
Exactly.
one at most.
So why does it matter if they make the playoffs?
Because Sean, you're saying like it's do or die, basically. You're saying it's do or die if Seahawks lose. That's not the case.
I don't think it's die. They're going to the playoffs, and they could very well still win the playoffs. But I think it's a bad momentum swing. I think that it gets uncomfortable for them, unnecessarily uncomfortable. If
Yeah,
they can avoid that, I would take the win.
fair enough. I mean, I guess we gotta agree to disagree. It's all good.
We're gonna transition to some NBA briefly. This next question, who is looking worse for their team right now? Trey Young for the Atlanta Hawks or LeBron James for the Los Angeles Lakers? Both have had negative accusations, statistically looking negative, um, and their teams have been unsuccessful as of late, amidst both of their return. They both were injured early on in the year. So who's looking worse for their team right now, Trey or LeBron?
Trey Young, bro. Come on. No, no, I'm tripping. It's LeBron. What are we talking about? It's LeBron James. And listen, I know the Hawks are not a top five seed in the East. I mean, nobody expected them to. We expected the Lakers to be a top five seed, and they're at number five. They're at, you know what I'm saying? Like we
I
expected
expected the
LeBron.
Hawks to be higher.
Right. Well, Sean, you are a fake Hawks fan. You're not a real basketball fan. You don't watch
What?
basketball. You watch highlights. You're like flight reacts. You're just a click farmer. That's what you do. So anyway, back to my point. Anyway,
No,
back to my
no,
point.
no, no.
That's what back to my point. I think it's LeBron, bro. And the reason I say LeBron is because you really got to think about that team. Like I said earlier, it's Luca and it's Austin Reeves, bro. Like that duo alone with DeAndre Ayton, with Marcus Smart, with the other pieces that they have without LeBron, I think they can. I'm not saying that they can make a deep playoff run, but they can definitely be a top three or four seed in the West. I think and LeBron can still provide his skill, his ability. I just don't think he has to go in that court anymore and prove anything. He's the longest player in the league. He can still average 20 if he wanted to. Hell, he could probably average 30 if he wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Like you got a coach that you trust. Your son plays on the team. Your team is pretty decent. They're like I said, they're top five. I mean, what is your role on this team? Being the vet, you already have plenty of vets on this team. And I know might be the greatest player of all time, but he needs to sit his ass down at home. There's nothing else for him to do in the NBA. He's won four titles. He's won four MVPs. He's won four Finals MVPs. I mean, only thing he hasn't done is won DPOY, but that ship is long gone. I, I just don't know what else that he would want to do it's like for any team. Like if he went back to Cleveland next year and that was his last year, cool. But why are you staying in LA for 3 more years? You don't need to do this no more. Like it's over. And look, and I'm not saying Trey Young is the greatest acquisition of Hawks history, no. But I mean, give him another year, I would say. You know, like between Dyson Daniels and Jalen Johnson, I'm keeping Jalen Johnson. Jalen Johnson could be the future of this Hawks team, and Trey Young could be a good number two. That's what I think. Um, so yeah, I think LeBron James, bro. Ain't gonna lie.
I can stand behind that. Um, but I'm gonna go with Trey Young, unfortunately. Um, you know, I've seen the Hawks up close recently. I sat courtside recently. I I I'm very familiar with what's going on. I'm gonna hit you with some key stats here, man. I did a deep dive, a lot of research last night. Um, so here's the deal. BPM, box plus minus, the impact a player has on the game, if you didn't know already. Um, estimated with a bunch of complicated math that I don't understand, but I just know what it means. Box plus minus. LeBron, Trey is minus 37 on the season. That means he has a negative impact for the Hawks. And to your point, LeBron is minus 55. But to my point, if you look at the net rating, which is how much it's like the point differential for how much better a team is or how much worse a team is with the player on and off. So with Trey Young, with LeBron on the court, the Lakers are minus 2 points. And then with with 2 points per 100 possessions, or something like that. And then when LeBron off the court, the Lakers are a positive 1.1. And so with Trey Young, the Hawks, without Trey Young, the Hawks are a plus 1.3 net rating. But with Trey Young on the court, the Hawks are a minus 6.1. That's a bigger differential than LeBron by a good margin. And then by like 4 points, negative 4 points. And also, if you look at the offensive rating, which is how much points a team scores pretty much with or without that player. LeBron with the Lakers are 118.5, which is the same offense they are with him. So their offense does not change with or without LeBron. But the Hawks offense is this is a small number, but the Hawks are 116.7 without Trae Young compared to 116 flat with him. So the offense is slightly better with him. Um, or the offense is slightly better without him, but not much of a difference, just like the Lakers with or without LeBron. But defensive rating, this is where the magic is. In the defensive rating, the Lakers are 117.4 with LeBron off the court, which means they are allowing teams to score 117 points without LeBron James. But with LeBron James playing, the Lakers are giving up 120.6 points on average. So he makes their defense about 3 points worse. And with, but here's the margin with Trey. The margin with Trey is without without Trey Young, the Hawks are only giving up on average 115 points per 100 possessions. But with Trey Young, they are giving up 122 points. So that's seven. They're giving up 7 more points on average with Trey Young in the lineup than they are without him. So they're significantly better defensively without Trey Young. And another point I will add is I'm seeing role players step up without Trey Young playing in the lineup. The Hawks last game, they beat the Timberwolves, blew them out off the floor. And the Hawks, to me, just look so much more comfortable without Trey Young. You see Nickeil Alexander-Walker inserted into the lineup as the starting point guard, and he can really blossom without Trey Young when he has the ball in his hands. And he's a great defender too. So he adds the more Nickeil Alexander-Walker minutes with the starting lineup, I feel like is better because you add that defense at point guard when you also get the good scoring, and then the you know the head of the snake is Jalen Johnson with stuff in the stat sheet. He's the number one scoring option. And then you have a Dyson Daniels in the backcourt defense. And so I just think the Hawks, it all starts with the defense, and the Hawks are just so much better defensively without Trey Young. It's not his fault that he's a liability, but because of his size and how little he is, he's a defensive liability, man. And it's really apparent this year. And like what I was saying, the role players just look a lot better without Trey because he is very ball dominant, you know? And so he takes away from other guys. It's not really his fault. He's not trying to hurt the offense or the team, but in order for him, he does nothing off the ball. He's not cutting. He sits in the corners. He can't cut because he's too little. No one's hitting Trey Young for a backdoor layup, right? Like no one's hitting Trey Young for a backdoor layup because he's going to get blocked every time. So his only choice is to be on ball and bring it up, pass, facilitate. But the Hawks are just way better when everyone touches the ball, when they share the ball well,
Mm.
and it allows other guys to step up like Nikhil Alexander Walker and Luke Kennard. He gets more touches. Everyone gets more touches. That we share the ball better. The ball movement's better. Now, listen, the Hawks defensive struggles. When I went to the Hawks game, a, not all of that was on Trae Young's fault. I'll tell you that. There's some guys are not listening to the coach or something. Like something's getting not heard. So I will say that the Hawks' defensive struggles as of late are not entirely Trae Young's fault, but he is not helping, and I believe he is not helping to a fault more than LeBron is. So I rest my case.
Sean, you crack me up every time, man. Because the just okay. Since you want to hit me with stats, right? Which which by the way, I'll give you that. Great job. BPM, ooh, all that bull, whatever. Great job. You know, I'm glad that you graduated kindergarten and finally found your stats, but let a real let a real basketball fan teach you something, okay? And this is very simple because you clearly went to in depth. What are the Hawks? What is the Hawks record? Don't look it up. I have it right here. Just take a wild guess.
I believe we're like 14 and 16.
You guys are 16 and 19.
Oh.
You are 9 and 13 in your conference, 6-11 at home, 10 and 8 at away. I'll give you guys that. 2 and 8 last 10, and you've won. I think you won against Timberwolves last night. Okay, let me compare you with the Lakers standings. This is this is all season, by the way. All season. Mind you, Trae Young wasn't in the lineup the first half of the season, correct?
hmm
Okay, cool. Nope. I ain't gonna say none of those.
I'll give you
Cool.
that.
What is the Lakers record? Just take a wild guess. You probably know it.
I believe we're 19 and 10,
You guys are 20 and 11. So
20 and
close.
11. Whoops.
15 and 8 in the conference. Mind you, probably 15 and 8 in the conference. So the first, I would say, 8 teams: Thunder, Spurs, Nuggets, Rockets, Lakers, Wolves, Suns, Warriors. 15 and 8. So you won against 15 of these teams and lost to 8. Great. Home and away, you guys are 8 and 6 home, 12 and 5 away, 4 and 6 the last 10. You've lost one. This is all season, Sean. It's not just when LeBron is out or when Trae Young is out. Who's doing better?
What do you mean, LeBron?
Okay. So if he's doing better, oh wait, you're right. What was I thinking? Wait,
I just proved to you that LeBron has
I,
less of an impact on the
I
team.
just misunderstood. Yeah, you're
Le-
right. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, you're
LeBron.
right, Sean. I ain't got nothing to say. You're right. Good job. Good job.
He fits in better because he's LeBron, bro. He
I
has a high IQ.
I
He
I,
plays off the ball, unlike Trae Young. You see him
I
adjust
probably
to
would have
Luka.
I probably would have thought that without Trey Young, I thought without Trey Young they would be worse. But I feel like with actually no, without Trey Young they're way better because it's like you have Jalen Johnson who's like a 5 tool player, he can do everything.
hmm
So yeah,
The
and
only thing that
honestly,
LeBron is worse for Trae Young for is box plus minus, but that is not entirely. That just means the Lakers may have gotten blown out more times than the Hawks have.
fair enough. Yeah, honestly, I think you're right, Sean. I ain't got shit else to say. I'll
All
pass.
right, we're gonna move to the next question. Are you concerned about the Thunder after three losses to the Spurs?
No, absolutely not. There comes a time like when, for example, when the 2011 Heat, right? They went on this 27 game winning streak against the East. They were conquering the East. And then the Bulls, this young Bulls team with Derrick Rose, all them, they take over and they beat the Heat, you know? And they beat them all through the regular season, 2011 season. Do your research. Please do. If you think I'm wrong, do your research. The Bulls beat the Heat every single time in the regular season. Blew and the Heat the Heat blew them out in 5 games in the conference championship. This is the Heat Bulls thing. This is Spurs Thunder. The Thunder just won a title. right? Yeah, whatever. Mickey Mouse title, blah blah blah. Ooh, cool. They still won the title. They still won the damn thing. The Spurs can beat the Thunder all they want in the regular season, but if they can't beat them in the playoffs, it doesn't matter to me. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? If the Lakers beat the Nuggets, if the Lakers blew out the Nuggets every game in the regular season, right? You're gonna call the Nuggets trash. Woo, woo, woo. I won't because the regular season games they matter. But if you're because there are guaranteed playoff teams: Thunder, Spurs, Rockets. I would say Lakers, Pistons, Knicks, maybe Heat, few others. Right? Cool. There are playoff guarantees, right? Guaranteed teams. Spurs and Nuggets are guaranteed teams. If Spurs and Nuggets, Thunder Spurs are guaranteed playoff teams. The Thunder are going to beat the Spurs in the playoffs 100%, Sean. So I'm not worried about this at all. I'm not concerned about none of this. Shea, he's going to bounce back. I don't care how many free throws he has to shoot to win the game. He's going to win that damn game, Sean. Facts.
Hmm. Um, I will. That is a good point. But with the Heat Bulls comment you made, but were there injuries involved?
No,
No injuries.
not really. No,
Derrick Rose didn't go down.
that was 2012 playoffs.
All right, I'll give you that. It is regular season after all, but I still don't like three straight losses in the regular season. Like, come on, you got to come back and win at least like one of those, man. Well, I think they
Facts.
meet up one more time this year. We'll see if they
Yeah,
can pull it out.
February 7th.
Hmm. But that is
Hmm.
a red flag in my opinion. Just because it's like three straight, bro. Like you can't get one win.
Yeah,
Like that
fair
Christmas
enough.
Day game, they looked like a deers in headlights, man.
But it
Like,
was a good game. It was a good game. Like what, you know what I'm
but it
saying?
was
It
over
was,
fast.
I guess.
I mean, the Thunder looked so lost to me. No adjustment they made could offset what the Spurs were doing. Like, if I'm the Thunder, I'm praying to God they don't meet the Spurs in the playoffs, bro. Like, I'm so
Fair enough.
serious. That
Fair enough.
that was bad. Well, there's something about Wemby versus that team. There's something about the Spurs matchup wise compared to the Thunder that if I'm Sam Presti, if I'm Mark Daignault, I'm shivering in my boots. Um, that's pretty much all I got regarding that. I think three straight is more than a fluke.
All right, let's see. Wait and see.
Um, we're gonna move on to one last question here for debates and takes. We're gonna circle back to the NFL real quick. Um, are you more impressed by the Eagles or concerned by the Bills after Eagles Bills game last Sunday?
Well, here's the thing. I think that, you know, Buffalo, they lost their chance in winning the AFC East with that loss to the Eagles. So I feel like I'm more concerned by the Bills. I think the Eagles did their part, you know, but I think with Buffalo, you really got to look at it as like this was their shot to win win the AFC, you know, because the Patriots won, they would have to win. And I think they would have to win their. I think the Bills have to win their last game. The Patriots win their last game. Um, but like I said, this was isn't it's not do or die. I just think that Josh Allen needed to be MVP Josh Allen that we've seen in the past. Like we needed Keon Coleman. James Cook did his part, at least at least to an extent. I think we're gonna see Buffalo in the playoffs. And I just don't know what to expect from them because their roller coaster has gone up and way down and way up. Now it's kind of stalling now. So I just don't know. I hope the roller coaster goes up from here, from the playoffs, just because I want to see Josh Allen make it to the Super Bowl. If it's against my Bears or not, it does not matter. I just want to see Josh Allen in the playoffs, in the Super Bowl, finally getting it done. Because Pat Mahomes, he's out. This is your time. You've been to the conference chip before. Drake May has never even sniffed the first round yet. So this is your time. You know, you have Trevor Lawrence in the AFC. Who else you got? You got Lamar, maybe. You got A-Rod. You got a couple others. This is Josh Allen's time to show that he really is that guy. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I'm more concerned about the Bills, Sean, honestly.
Pretty good case you got there. Um, I'm gonna have to say I'm more impressed by the Eagles.
Mm,
That is that is because defensively, that the Eagles have been dominant as of late. I think the reason they've been winning their recent games is because of their defense. Cooper DeJean, the defensive line, they just know how to guard. And the reason I'm not concerned about Buffalo is because the what that game came down to, if you think about it, the Bills have been comeback kings the past few weeks, right? And so the weekly comeback came, they came back, they were right there with them. And it came down to a
mm,
Josh Allen pass that that 9 times out of 10 he's hitting. He's hitting that pass
fair,
9 times out of 10. And this was that 1 time out of 10 that he didn't hit it. And so I think going forward, that's not going to happen again. That's not going to happen again.
fair
And
enough.
and so I think I would be worried if the Eagles were also in the AFC, but they're not. They're in the NFC. And so, and I don't expect the Bills to win the Super Bowl anyway. So I'm not worried about their AFC chances. I think in the AFC, they're fine. They have a chance of beating anybody. Um,
Fair enough.
but albeit they're not winning the Super Bowl.
All right. I like your take. I think like this is I don't think this is a right or wrong answer. It's just based on because like you said, there's different conferences, different playoff seeds, different like this could like the Eagles are a good team. I will give them that. But you lost to Chicago. Like you lost to Chicago at home. Like we weren't in Chicago for this Eagles game. We were in Philly where everybody was talking. Ooh, oh yeah, Chicago sucks. It's not bear down. Fly, Eagles fly. Ooh, this, that, and the third. Their defense collapsed. It wasn't like this was the beginning of the season. This was a few weeks ago. Like I understand the Eagles defense has gotten better, but you gotta look at it. It's Josh Allen we're talking about, yo. And Jalen and like to and not to not, not to take any credit from Jalen Hurts because he's a great quarterback, but he has not been the Jalen Hurts we've seen for the past couple of years. This I don't think this is the Jalen Hurts we've seen last year win a Super Bowl MVP. This isn't the same Jalen Hurts we know. So we just gotta really count as like that. Has Jalen Hurts played to the standard that we have expected him to this season? Hell no. Has Josh Allen? Sure. I don't think he's better than he was last year because last year he was balling. But I do think he has a really, really good chance of making the Super Bowl and winning the whole damn thing, Sean. That's all I gotta say about it.
For sure. Yeah, I can't disagree there, but I actually I can't disagree. He's not winning the Super Bowl. He's not beating an NFC team. Sorry,
Okay.
he's just not. Um,
All right.
unless some injury happens and like a beatable team like the Eagles gets into the Super Bowl. Um, that's all I got to say. We're gonna move to good, bad, and ugly for this week. You want to go first?
Oh yeah. My good, bad, and ugly for this week. My good, I'm going to say the Houston Texans. They've been balling out.
Okay.
Um, CJ Stroud, like he is the anchor of that team, and their their defense is their best defense in the league. I don't think there's a better defense than the Houston Texans. Sean, you can say the Seahawks, you could probably say the Bears, you could probably say a few other teams in the AFC, but no, there's nobody topping the Texans, especially with Derek Stingley Jr. being that anchor, with Will Anderson. That's my good. My bad. I'm gonna say my bad is gonna be the Indianapolis Colts.
Hmm.
Now I know bringing in 65-year-old Phillip Rivers wasn't on their budget list, this season, but it happened. They carried them to a couple close games. When Daniel Jones got out, like when he got injured, I knew that like their season was over. Like, you know, I I think Phillip Rivers, I think he's a legend, great quarterback in my eyes. I think it was just too late for him. I don't think he could have done anything. And they started off really good, and now it's just really bad. Um, now, now the ugly. Um, I'm going with the Detroit Lions, Sean. The Detroit Lions is my ugly for this week because how do you start off 6-2, Sean? 6-2.
It's not their fault, man. The injuries.
I don't. Here's the thing. I don't care about any of those injuries and none of that because the Bears have had injuries, the Bucks had injuries, the Panthers had injuries, and they're still in for playoff contention. The Bears clinched the NFC North.
But no one's as injured as them. Their defense is so injured. Their offensive line.
Okay, hold on, because you're blaming everything on injuries. No, you have to blame. Listen, Dan Campbell, he kept going for it on fourth down. That's what kept them out of these close games. So you can say injuries, yeah, cool, whatever, this, that, and third. Dan Campbell is to blame for the Lions going 8-8. Jameer Gibbs did his job.
But that
Okay,
has
Jared,
successfully worked in the past.
but in the past, Sean, you keep talking about now. They're 8-8. They're bottom of the NFC North. Sean. They had multiple chances to win games to not clinch the NFC North, but make the playoffs.
But can you not point to the fact that Amon-Ra St. Brown may be playing through injury? Remember, he was going to miss. He missed that one game, and then he came back a little too
Listen,
soon.
but listen to what I'm saying, no, Sean. You have to listen to what I'm saying. They were 6-2, first or second in the NFC North. The Bears were fourth or third, whatever. How do you go from 6-2 to 2-6, 2-8, whatever the case may be? And listen, yes, injuries is a big factor. I'm not saying injuries isn't, but you have to blame. You have not blame. You have to take accountability. Why are you always going for it on fourth down? Like for real, why aren't you playing David Montgomery instead of Jameer Gibbs more, or have the same equal touches? Like make it so it's Sonic and Knuckles, not just Sonic. Knuckles just sitting on the bench twiddling his toes or whatever he's doing. Like yes, Jameer Gibbs is a premier running back, but if you're not playing your second option to your first option, and your first option isn't doing as well, put your backup piece in, see how he does, and get that chemistry flowing. That's what they do for Monangai and Swift. You feel me? So I get what you're saying for sure. I'm not saying like what you're saying is like incorrect, but I'm just saying you have to point a finger at Dan Campbell. After Ben Johnson left, after what's his name, head coach from the Jets, Glenn, Aaron Glenn left. What has he done? They're 8-8. It's not the worst record in the world, but you're fourth in the NFC North. You're last. The Vikings finished better than you, and they had Max Brosmer as a QB. Sean, there's no excuse for being worse than 9. Are you serious right now? Come on, bro. There's no like, come on now. So yeah, that's my good, bad, and ugly. My good, the Houston Texans. My bad is the Indianapolis Colts. My ugly is the Detroit Lions.
I will say, that is a good point when you bring up the Vikings finishing higher than them, but I still don't want to definitively judge this Lions team until we see them fully healthy. Fully healthy, I think they're dangerous, man, with a fully loaded defense. Like, come on now. So you've got an all NFL good, bad, and ugly this week. I
Mhm.
actually got an all NBA good, bad, and ugly. There were no NFL teams that stood out to me for any of these.
You
So
get
I went
that?
all NBA. My good is Joel Embiid, surprisingly. He's been relatively healthy, been playing, not out for the season yet. Um, he recovered. He actually recovered from that injury scare. I don't know if you saw a few days ago, Joel Embiid, I think like went down, grabbing his knee, got pushed or something.
Yeah.
And he left for the remainder of the game, and it looked bad, and we were all like, "Oh, it's over." But he came back next game like nothing happened, back on schedule, and he's looking like vintage Embiid, bro. Last 5 games, 30 points per game. He's getting to the free throw line like he used to do. Um, he's a +6 on the box plus minus, so he's impacting them well. Um, I mean, the Sixers are 2-3 in their last 5 games, but I think it starts with Embiid being healthy and productive, and we're seeing that. So shout out Joel Embiid.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
I got my bad. I'm gonna go Clippers. Um, they've been bad this season, but they're on a 5 game win streak. 6 game win streak
Yeah.
now after last night, and Kawhi's
Facts.
been averaging 39 points per game in that span. So
True.
and he's been healthy too. Knock on wood. But that's good. That's good to see. Um, and they're the reason they're bad and it's not all good is because they're still 11-21 or 10 or 12-21. They
So
still got a
yeah.
long ways to go, and they're not even in the
Yeah.
play-in yet. They're just now like peaking at the play-in, but you still got to get
Facts.
to the play-in. You got to win the play-in, and then you got to get into the playoffs. You know, so they got to like they got to go on like a 15 game win streak. So we'll see if they can do it. They have the capabilities, but it's still a daunting task in front of them. But um, I will give them praise for the last 5 games and Kawhi Leonard. Um, my ugly, worst of all, the Milwaukee Bucks, bro. They are 14-20. I know that Giannis was injured for a stretch, but even with Giannis, they're not winning games. They just lost to the Wizards by 1 point
Yeah.
the other night. I mean, it's just sad, bro. This is sad, man. And their roster is just not in, they don't have the financial flexibility to really help Giannis. So if I'm the Bucks, why don't you get rid of Giannis while his value is the highest it's ever been, and then get a bunch of draft assets so you can rebuild. You already won a championship with him. Build for the future now. You know what I mean? So they still have Giannis. That's my problem with them, and they're not winning. They're 14-20. They're just wasting. They're just wasting right now. You could be building for the
Absolutely.
future, but you're not winning.
I agree.
They just want Giannis for ticket sales or whatever the case is right now.
Ticket sales
So
is
that's
crazy.
my good, bad, and ugly. Good Joel Embiid, bad Clippers, ugly Bucks. You got any thoughts?
Fire. Nah, honestly, I wasn't even thinking about Joel Embiid. Low key, he was having a good 5, 6 game stretch. So kudos to him. The Sixers are fourth in the East, so they're doing their thing, with their rookie and Tyrese and PG-13. So I agree, Sean. I have no bad things to say about your list, buddy.
We're agreeing a lot today.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
we're gonna get to the next segment of the show. Um, Lippy's list, everybody. My unbiased favorite segment of this show. Um, we're gonna go top 5 fraud teams. This is pretty much, yeah, this is all NFL. All right. Top 5 fraud NFL teams heading into playoffs. Um, boom. At number 5, give me the Buffalo Bills, bro. I know they're favorites to win the AFC. I don't disagree with that. I'm a preacher of that. But they're not winning the Super Bowl, bro. And they're lucky they're in the AFC. If they were in the NFC, first round, second round. Like they don't have targets. They have a receiving problem. They were too reliant on their run game. They're too reliant on Josh Allen. And a one man can't do it all, bro. We saw it on Sunday. it kind of just got to Josh. He kind of panicked and threw a bad pass at the end of the game because he knows there's too much pressure on him. And he got hit too. He was playing on that bad ankle, bro. Remember that bad hit? There's too much pressure on Josh Allen. Way too much pressure on him. And they need to give him more receiving targets, bro. Dalton Kincaid is not enough. And they got James Cook, but after a while, the defense starts to predict what you're going to do. And if you're running the game, if you're running the ball every possession, so yeah, number five, Bills. Number four, the Philadelphia Eagles. They've been fishy all year. There's just bad stench coming from them. They've had some troubles with AJ Brown. You see some offensive troubles. Jalen Hurts struggling, like you were saying earlier. He's not the same. And um, you know, I'm seeing lack of consistency with their wide receivers. AJ Brown drops like 120 yards one game, 80 the next, or 60, like 50. He's under the radar. He's above the radar. You know what I mean? It's too flippy floppy. And same with Devontae Smith. Um, and Saquon Barkley's just been a no-show this season for the most part. I don't know what that's all about. Um, and they've had those three straight losses they had against the Cowboys. First of all, the Cowboys, bro. And then the Cowboys, they lost to the Bears, even though the Bears are respectable and a better team. And then you lose to the Chargers, which I think have had struggles. I've never been the biggest Charger believer. So three straight losses and you're a defending Super Bowl champ. I don't like it. And they beat the Bills off the rare Josh Allen failure, like I was talking about earlier. So you're lucky you won last weekend after you blew that lead. Um, so they're number four. Number three, the Denver Broncos. They just had way too many close victory margins. They've just been playing to the competition's level, which you don't like to see. Yes, they have been winning, but by what? Like one possession, one kick? Like it's been like 3-point games. And and they've also had an easy schedule if you look at it. The hardest opponents they've had are like I think they've only played like one or two contenders. So the Broncos got to prove it to me. That's why they're three. Number two, the New England Patriots, even easier schedule. They've beaten the Bills. They've beaten the Bills, yes, but they've also lost to the Bills. And that was one of their toughest opponents in the first place. So they got to prove it to me. And they're inexperienced. I don't think when they play a team like Seattle or something in the playoffs, I don't think they have a good chance. Even against the Rams are way better. I don't they're gonna have to prove it to me. Number one, the Jaguars. They're the by far the biggest fraud. Easiest schedule in the last like 10 weeks. Crazy easy schedule. They've lost to every contender they've played. They played the Rams and the Seahawks, two real contenders, and they lost both of them. And they've only had easy wins. So those are my top five frauds for this week's Lippy's list. Number five, Bills, four Eagles, three Broncos, two Patriots, and one Jaguars. EJ, what you got?
All right, let's just start off. You're wrong. Number five, you are an idiot because I'm not gonna lie, the Bills can't win the NFC. I mean, can't win the AFC anymore, Sean. The Patriots already won the AFC East. You cannot win the AFC if you lost your division, Sean. Let's get that correct. So
What do you
you're
mean?
wrong.
When they make the Super Bowl? That's winning the AFC.
I'm okay. I was thinking more like statistical. Okay, okay, okay. I get you. I get you. I get you. All right, cool. Number five. Okay, your Bills. First of all, having the Jaguars at number one is insane to me. I would rather have the Patriots number one if you ask me because they're such a young team. I would put Patriots, Broncos, then Jags, then Eagles, then Bills. The Eagles are a Super Bowl team. They've won a Super Bowl, Sean. Let's not. Okay, yes, I know that like this season they've last season they won the Super Bowl, Sean. What are you talking about? And they blew the Chiefs out by 40 at halftime.
This isn't last season. This is this season. The Chiefs are out
You,
of the playoffs.
you probably didn't even watch football last season. I don't even want to say here. You talk to me. So listen though, you got to really look at it at this point. The Eagles are Super Bowl champions. They beat the Dynasty Chiefs and everybody else. hasn't even sniffed the conference finals in the conference finals, the conference championship in years, except for Buffalo. Jaguars hasn't made the conference chip since 2018, 2019. Patriots haven't been to the conference chip since 2019. And who else you say? You said Broncos haven't been to the conference chip since 2015. It's just like Peyton Manning. Like you put four teams that okay have no playoff experience, great, and then you put a team that won the Super Bowl last season.
Yeah, but
Yes,
they're
their team
clearly
is
not going to win it this year.
okay. Sean, you don't know that. Nobody, no, you don't know that.
I'm pretty sure. I don't like this Eagles team.
So if the Eagles win, then what?
Then I'll be wrong, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
All right, we just gotta wait and see. But other than that, your list is not half bad.
Thank you. The Jaguars, come on, they're bigger frauds than the Patriots.
Yeah, okay, whatever you say. Just know if the
Trevor
Jaguars make the
Lawrence.
conference trip, if the Jaguars make the conference trip before Jake May, I want to hear you say, Sean, I want to hear you say, EJ, I am wrong. I'm sorry, EJ. Out your
All
mouth.
right, let's do it.
Cool.
I'll wait. Come into the studio
Cool.
and tell me I'm wrong. I'll wait for the day.
Uh, All right.
Um, we're gonna get to our another segment, your segment, the weak link. EJ, what you got this week?
Well, as gut wrenching as this is to say, um, my weak my weak link of the week, Sean Lippy, is going to be Matt Stafford.
What?
Yeah, yeah. He didn't show out against he did not show out against the Falcons on Monday. Um, I think that was a game that he could have easily won. Um, you know, not to take any credit from that Stafford. I think he had a great I think he's had a great amazing season. But I think just this game he underwhelmed for sure. Threw I
Hey,
think he
why
threw
don't you
three
give us
picks.
credit, bro?
I think he threw three picks. You suck. Shut up. The Falcons are so trash. Please don't talk to me about no Falcons unless it's about Bijan or about Kyle Pitts Sr. Sometimes I don't hear you say none to me, and sometimes AJ Terrell. But other than that, don't talk to me about no weak
Give our
Falcons, man.
defense credit. Give Kirk Cousins credit.
How about this? How about this? How about this? I want you to go to Kirk Cousin himself and tell him that, and then yeah, shut up, idiot. So listen though, right? This is how I see it. Okay, Sean. If you are a top five team in the league and you're facing against a bottom 10 team in the league, the Falcons are not good. Falcons are mediocre or below average at best, right? You're supposed to blow them out the park, especially late in this season where playoff, like, even though they don't have a chance of getting the first seed, like, it's still important to win games. You know what I'm saying? Like, their defense is what carried them back into that game single-handedly, and he made a couple great passes to Puka and shut off the Puka. But at the end of the day, who lost and who won that game, Sean? That game was needed to be won, and that all started with Matt Stafford. And I think this is his probably going to be his only weak link of the week because like he's been so great, he's been so dominant. I think this is just a one-time thing. Like it happens all the time, Sean. I don't think this is a reoccurring thing.
hmm
So
Um,
that's my weak link. That's my weak link of the week.
I agree. Um, I can get behind that. Yeah. That is bad. You hate to see it, but classic Falcons, man. They just when the season's over, they start getting these tough wins. They start playing this gritty defense. Kirk Cousins starts showing out offense. Like if there was a what are you mad about this week, man, they'd be front and headline.
It's
Um
all Bijan. It's all Bijan.
so with that, we're gonna transition to our last segment of the show today, NFL. Um I've only got one game from week 17 that we haven't already talked about that I want to briefly cover, and that is Steelers Browns. Um, what do you think about that and Shador's performance? The Browns beat the Steelers 13-6, and Shador Sanders didn't have the greatest game. 17 for 23, 186 yards, one touchdown, and two interceptions. Um, what are your takeaways?
I think this game, like this was a really good toll on Shador because at the end of the day, you really have to look at it from a different perspective. As yeah, it's a Browns game and they're the bottom team, but you could make it so where the Steelers potentially don't make the playoffs no, this season. You have the chance to basically send it, okay, this is overtime. I know I'm not gonna make the playoffs, but why should I bow down for a team who could or maybe should make the playoffs, right? It's going to be between the Steelers and the Ravens. This is a prime time rivalry. It's been going on for decades since before Big Ben and Ray Lewis and Shannon Sharp, since all that, right? This is like this rivalry means everything, especially for a playoff spot. Now, I don't think any of these teams are going to make it past the first round if they do not pass a second by a mile. But I do think that this game will be amazing to see on Sunday, just because of the rivalry and the tensions, and to see if Lamar can carry his team to the playoffs. So
Mm-hmm.
yes,
Um, I agree. But I don't know. My takeaways, I'm kind of thinking maybe yes, the Browns won, but that was not because of their offense. That was because of the defense, and that was mostly because of just this how sorry the Steelers were. And Aaron Rodgers. It's looking bad. I think the Ravens could totally win on Sunday. But I don't know. You might want to look at maybe we should have kept playing Dylan Gabriel offensively because they've started the same amount of games and Shador Sanders has thrown more interceptions in his
hmm.
starts. So just a little something to chew on.
Wait, Sean. Before we move on, um, take a wild guess on who has won more games, Shador or Dylan Gabriel.
Shador.
Mind you. Right. Cool.
But is that
Think
because of him?
you think, but you think that Dylan Gabriel should have started. Dylan Gabriel should have started offensively.
I'm not saying definitively. I just think we have to ask that question
But why though? I mean they won.
because the win was not because of him. It was because of the defense. He's throwing interceptions left and right.
A win is a win. And no, look at. I'm trying to think of a player. Look at Big Ben, and I'm big on examples because Big Ben literally threw that mug 70 yards from the 20-yard line all the way down to the I don't know how much is 70 yards, but to the other 20-yard line and threw an interception with
Hmm.
somebody wide open. Magic. Big Ben is one of the greats. So I'm not saying Shador is going to be like the greatest quarterback of all time. I think he's going to be a great quarterback in one day. I think you give him more time, you give him more coaching. Dylan Gabriel, send him to the Jets. Send him to the Jets. See what he can do.
Oh my
But
God.
I don't see Dylan Gabriel starting on the Cleveland Browns. I think I see Dylan Gabriel being a really really good backup or a starter for a mediocre team.
To your point, um, what was I gonna say? Oh man, I had something good, but it's gone. All right, we're just gonna move to week 18 um, of the NFL, last week of the regular season. Um, The first game is tomorrow, Saturday. We got a couple of really good games. Panthers Buccaneers for the NFC South, and a playoff spot. It's win or go home here. Who you got, EJ? Week 18 picks.
I'm going with the Panthers, man. I'm going with Carolina. I think Bryce Young is gonna lead this team to the playoffs. I think they're gonna get blown out in the wild card, but playoffs. Playoffs nonetheless. Panthers haven't made the playoffs since 2017, 2018, maybe. So this is a game. This is gonna be a great game.
I agree with you. Panthers all the way. Um, Seahawks 49ers, we talked about this. Huge game, biggest of the weekend in my opinion. This is for the one seed and this is for the division. Who you got?
I got the Seahawks, man. I got Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold is an elite quarterback. Like I said, he's a top five quarterback in this league. JSN is the best wide receiver in this league. Seahawks have a top three defense in this league. I think Zach Charbonnet, Kenneth Walker are a great running back duo. They're gonna do some good things in this game against the Niners.
I agree. I agree with you. We're two for two. I think the Seahawks have just been more consistent this season, and considering the Niners barely won't beat the Bears, I don't think they're gonna beat the Seahawks. Um, Next game, Texans Colts. Doesn't do much for the Colts, but the Texans, this could impact them standings
Definitely.
wise.
I'm
Who you
going with
got?
Houston. I'm going with Houston. I think the Colts back up their rookie Riley Bennett, something like that. I think he's coming back. Um, Texans have a really good team, so I'm going with the Texans for sure.
I'm gonna go with the Texans too. We're three for three. Although I do think the Colts could definitely go out there and upset, but the Texans
No,
defense has just been
absolutely,
so good. I don't see it slowing down.
absolutely, hell no, hell no.
Um. Anyways, the next game we got an Ohio showdown. Shador and the Browns versus Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Literally just a meaningless game, but it's Shador's last game of the season. So who you got?
I'm going with Cleveland, man. I think Cleveland gonna upset Cincinnati, man. Real live. That's what I think
I agree. We're
for
four
sure.
for four. Um, next one.
Yeah.
You know what? We're just gonna skip the Falcons game. No one cares. Um, Packers Vikings. Who you got? This is pretty important for the
I'm
Packers.
not really. The Packers already clinched the playoffs, so I mean,
Yeah.
it's not really
Well, could they
important.
move up?
No,
Okay, never mind.
I'll probably say Green Bay just for the hell of it. Honestly, I don't think the Vikings gonna. I think they're gonna be at eight wins and and eight losses. No, 8 wins, 9 losses. I think
Mhm.
that's their max.
I'm agree. Um, and then we're gonna skip over Jaguars, Giants, Cowboys, meaningless. Rams, Cardinals. I think the Rams will get back on track.
That game is meaningless. I'm going with Rams.
Um, Chiefs, Raiders is meaningless. Eagles are gonna beat the Commanders. Um,
hmm
Patriots are gonna beat the Dolphins. Bears, Lions.
Chicago all day. Bear
Mhm.
down.
I'm gonna roll with you. Chargers, Broncos, pretty good game. That could do. This is important for the Broncos. They could lose the one seed.
Oh yeah. I'm going with Chargers, man. I'm going with the Chargers.
Really?
I think they're gonna upset Bo Nix. I think Justin Herbert at his full capacity could beat any quarterback in the AFC for sure.
I'm gonna go with the Broncos. I think the Chargers are pretty cooked.
Cool
Um,
games.
Herbert's playing through injury. I think the Broncos got him. Um, Bills, Jets. Bills are gonna beat them. And then finally, our last game, Ravens, Steelers for the what is this? The NFC
This
East,
is the A no
AFC.
AFC
Whoops.
AFC A AFC North.
AFC North, right? Whoops.
I'm going I'm going with B more, man. I'm going with Baltimore. I think Baltimore can pull it off. I think Lamar can pull off one more spectacular win before the playoffs starts, man.
I agree because the Steelers have just been god awful recently. And the Ravens
Facts.
have a win under their belt in the last 2 weeks. I think they got it.
Hmm.
Um, and with that, that does the first episode of 2026, everybody. We will be back in studio next week for the NFL playoff special. Um, we're excited for that, and we will see you all next week. As always, it was a pleasure. Um, yeah, peace out.
Peace out, y'all.